Hello and welcome to episode 9 of my knitting podcast. My name is Erika and you can find me as Loareknits everywhere. This is a podcast mostly about knitting, although sometimes I also show some sewn pieces and so far that's all I have shown, but probably it will also be a podcast about other handmade things. Let's start with what I'm wearing today. Today I'm wearing my Do It tee by Fibertales. It's a lovely summer tee. Let me just get up for you. It has a beautiful crochet bottom. It's quite cropped, but it wears very well over skirts. And it's short sleeved and has a v-neck, which is finished with an I-cord and a little I-cord tie here at the edge. It also has I-cord edges on the sleeves and it has just short sleeves. I sewed this I think a year ago. This pattern was released in June last year, if I'm not mistaken. And I tested it at the time and I've loved wearing it. It's a beautiful summer pattern. And although today is, I am recording on May 31st, I'm not sure I will release it today or tomorrow. But regardless, we're still in spring, end of May, beginning of June 2025, and it's super hot already. So I've already pulled my summer tops, knits, and that's what I'm wearing today. I'm not sure I will be able to record during full summer because I'm not sure how hot it's gonna get in here. We do have AC in other spaces in the house. Here we installed fan and I have that on already. And this room has afternoon and evening light. I will have to try to record in the mornings, or today's closer to midday, so let's see if I can get on with it. I'm drinking a little iced oat milk matcha. I don't feel I have done a lot of things. I don't feel I will have lots of finished things to show you. And this podcast is not about that. It's not about a race or a competition, but I do like to show new things and what I'm working on. So I think in the last episode I showed you a design that I was working on, a little kerchief, and I think I'm going to start with that. So with the finished things, I show you the plain version of the kerchief that I had designed or was designing for Nomad Nose. As you see, they did get a bit of wear, but now they have a little line because I had to put them away. It's no time to wear them, not weather to wear them, not even in the mornings. It's quite warm already. And I show you the plain version. Maybe on the needles I also show you the bubble version, but I now have it finished. Also with the little crease in the middle because I already stored them. But yeah, this is a pattern that I released in collaboration with Nomad Nose in the middle of the month, and I'm very happy with it. It's just a little kerchief that you can wear bandana style, or with the pointy part at the bottom, just like a little wrap around your neck once type of scarflet or shawlet. It features some bubbles and slip stitches, and it was worked in Nomad Nose High Mountain Yak, which has a beautiful drape, It's a bit airy and see-through, as you can see, but still is very warm. And yeah, it was a really nice accessory. The pattern also indicates how you can use all the yarn that you have. It gives you indications both for the plain version and for the decorated version, to weight your yarn and when you should stop knitting, and in this case increasing and making bubbles. The last bubble doesn't have any slip stitch running because it's a single bubble, but the other slip stitch columns open with a bubble and close with a bubble. And this is the little accessory, and these are both versions, which I am really happy with. I named this design Lagun, which means friend in my mother tongue, because with one skein of nomad knots you were able to knit 2 little kerchiefs, and I thought it was a very beautiful idea just to use the yarn that you have, that precious yarn that you have in your collection, and you can knit a little something for you and a little something matching for a dear friend, hence the name. And that's one of my finished things for the month. I didn't really check my notes, so I'm not sure if I have anything else other than the second thing that I'll show you now, which is my beautiful Yggdrasil tee by Anna Sjösvard. I am in love with this. I already worn it. I'm not sure how many more times I'll be able to wear this. I knit this tee in I talked about the yarn in the previous episodes. It's a beautiful blend of alpaca, silk and linen, so it's quite airy and quite summery. It is a cropped design. I'll show you some pictures of me wearing it, but it didn't turn out super cropped for me, which is good because this way I can wear it with skirts and also pants. I always doubt on how cropped is too cropped, and many times when I'm wearing things I end up tucking them in my pants if I'm wearing or my trousers if I'm wearing trousers, and I always think I could make it a bit more cropped. But then when I wear high-waisted pants with really cropped designs such as the one that I'm wearing today, I still feel a little weird. So it's neither here nor there, not super cropped like Anna's version, but also not regular length. Then I already showed this on the needles, I think, and I think it was quite not advanced. I think it was quite little progress that I had, but it features a beautiful braid design on the raglans, which continues into the body, and then at the underarms it has just garter stitch between the braids coming from both sides. So the stitches that you cast on at the underarm are just continued with garter stitch to the end. I finished. I only made one modification to the pattern, so the pattern it's great. It fits great. It has short sleeves and slightly shorter sleeves. I would say the pattern would be something like this, so really short sleeves. You shape the sleeve cap a little bit with short rows after you pick them up again to work on the sleeve, and then you're only directed to work a few rounds with a couple of decreases and then onto the ribbing, which is supposed to be a little less than what I did. But I wanted a sleeve that was slightly longer than this, that it almost hit my elbow. So I picked up a couple more stitches at the underarms, and then I continued in the steady pattern to just include those decreases so that I would reach the final number of stitches that was required for my sleeve, for my size. And then instead of doing the shorter ribbing that the pattern called for, I did a slightly longer ribbing also in the sleeves. And both at the sleeves and at the bottom, I just did simple knitwise bind off with the bigger needle because I liked the way a little chain is formed if I'm not using the tubular bind off, no, the Italian bind off is what I would use for a regular 1x1. So in this case I wanted the knitwise ribbing, and I'm super happy with it. I've worn it. It works beautifully. I talked about the yarn in the last episode, but it's Gregoria Fibers blend from when she used to dye yarn and sell yarn. And yeah, very happy with it. My Yggdrasil tee, finished and worn, designed by Anna Sjösvard. And now I wanted to make this kind of short so that it has a bit less editing time for me, and it's you know, you can watch it and it doesn't become a super long episode. And also because I am truly trying to record a bit more often. Not sure how it's gonna turn out with the weather and the heat, as I mentioned at the beginning. But now I'm going to talk about everything that's on my needles, or is about to be on my needles, because I can't help myself. And I signed up for all the Testknits again. This is a recurring theme, or I don't know how to call it. So I will sign up for a few tests. I will get a bit overwhelmed because of the deadlines. I sometimes think I can knit more than I end up being able to knit. So then I stress a little bit towards the end, and then I promise myself that I won't sign up for sewing tests at the time, and then I do again because my brain is not braining. And also my favorite designers and some new to me designers are releasing beautiful patterns, and I love to test. Although I sometimes design things myself, I also like following a pattern. I love knitting to a deadline because it helps me finish things. Otherwise things are gonna be, I'm just going to, you know, not fall out of love with them, but if I don't have a deadline, things are gonna go into my pile of work is in progress, and I'll probably not finish them. But if I do have a deadline and I am committed to it, I will finish it. So it helps me finish things, and I'm usually very happy with the results. And if I am not, I can always gift them. So what's on my needles regarding Testknits? I think you can see a color palette popping up, and let's see how I can show this to you. So the most advanced thing on my needles is the back panel. This is the right side, is the back panel of the Rosemary cardigan by foxandfolk. Just putting it a bit more extended on the needles. It's this beautiful back panel in what she calls this hurdle stitch, which combines some ribbing with some garter rows, and it has a beautiful fishbone braid or cable detail at the edges. I think this is where the stitches will be then picked up for the shoulders and the fronts, and you can finish this as a vest, or I will probably do the cardigan version, so then you can also pick up stitches around the beautiful armholes and finish it with stitches. Oh, sorry, with sleeves. So this is the back of my tee. I have a few more rows to go, and then I can start on the fronts, all the neckband and the fronts, and then join to work the body of the cardigan. And as you can see, I am going towards this all very mahogany or reddish browns, rustic colors with my tests, and I can't help it. There is definitely a palette coming. I'm knitting this in Brusca. I did get this yarn originally, if you saw one of my first episodes, for a test knit that I was going to make for the Making Stories magazine, but life happened and I couldn't bring myself to casting it on, and I became a bit overwhelmed, so I didn't do that test in the end. That design was beautiful and I didn't want to have the yarn sitting on my stash, so I'm using it for this other test. And this is Brusca from Rosa Pomar in the colorway C581, which is this beautiful dark reddish brown. That's test number 1. Test number 2, it's another test for Anna Sjösvard, and I am knitting this. This is the brighter red, so I'm knitting this in Rosas Crafts Roses. Rosas Crafts is it's a local brand to me, and this was a yarn that they released. Not sure it is continued. They continue to have it. I didn't find a lot of information. They sent this to me so I could try it with no need to, so no deadline or anything. And it's a woolen viscose, but the viscose, so the fiber for the viscose comes from rose bushes. So I thought it was interesting. It matched the name, and I really like the bright corally red tone to it. Yeah. It's very difficult to capture reds, but so what I'm knitting with this is another test for Anna Sjösvard, which currently is totally halted because I'm waiting for some directions on how to set up the lace pattern. But I know Anna is very busy right now with her sewing brand launch. I got the dress pattern, the Loareknits dress pattern. I didn't sew it yet because I'm not a huge fan of sleeveless dresses, but together with her friend Susan, they created this new, I think it's called Gru sewing brand, Grow Design, and they also released a tote pattern which has a little bit of I don't think it's called quilting, it's probably called piecing. I don't know, it has a star motif for the tote bag, and I was also really interested in that, although I'm not sewing so much anymore. I might do more of that now that the heat is come to stay. So not pressing her because I have other things on my list, by no means of pressure, but I am waiting for some more directions for this. I think I know how to fix it, but since this is a test and I want the designer to agree on the changes that need to be made to the test, I'm just waiting for directions. And the thing is that, I mean, it's working beautifully, numbers are matching now, but I don't think I progress some more and then I rip back because I don't think the lace part is going to match at the front as it's written, so we'll see what happens. But I'm really excited to continue on this. This is going to be a super quick knit, another little summer tee as the one that I'm wearing. So this is Testknits number 2. I'm going to keep this outside. So this is Testknits number 2. And Testknits number 3 and 4, because there's 4, they're not on my needles yet. So this will be my future tests. And then continuing with the rust copper colors. So this was leftover yarn from when I knit the Melides dress by Ines Oliveira from Verdknit. It was a beautiful hat knit dress, very figure hugging, strapless, and it was worked in Knitting for Olive's pure silk. I think the dress or the pattern has been revamped. I've seen a lot of people knit it again, and I really recommend Inesh's patterns. I knit mine in 2022. I'm checking here, so it's been already 3 years ago. I finished in August of 2022, and yeah, I mean the pattern is super complete. You made it to your own measurements, and yeah, it's a delight. But I had some leftover yarn, and since I finished it, I always figured I might want to make a top, a little summery top with what I had left over. And there are patterns out there that I could use, and I had some in my cube. But again, if I don't have a deadline, it's not gonna work. And although I haven't started with this, the deadline is in July, and I think I'm gonna be fine. So with this, I am going to knit the Floret top by Marie-Eve Wedge, who you can find as Inherskein. And yeah, very excited to cast this on. I have a couple of trips coming up. I'm thinking I could have this in wooden needles, which would be fine for and better for traveling. So that might be my traveling project. And if this is not the one, and I haven't shown a lot of socks, just because I was quite advanced in my sock knitting challenge for the year, and I do have some socks on the needles that I don't have with me. Those are my mindless knitting socks that I throw in my purse every time I leave the house. I also signed up for a 4th test knit just because I can't control myself, and I think I've settled on this Mondim yarn, also by Rosa Pomar, which is one of my favorite sock yarns. And this will be for the Seedling socks by Marla Herrmann, also known as knit.knot.sew on Instagram. Probably everything will be written, so it will be a lot easier if you can read it rather than hear me butcher the pronunciation. And I think I'm going with this. I still haven't decided if I will use the lighter color as the main color or the opposite. And this is a pair of socks that will help me get better at knitting color work socks, because they're color work socks. Not sure I will insert a picture, but maybe you will see the progress on the next episode. And I think that's it. I really want to cut it short. I really want it to make light and chatty, and I prefer this little short format. I think I haven't checked whether I have answered all the questions in the last episode. As I told you, May has been quite hectic, a bit crazy at work, a bit busy. Hopefully I will be able to record a bit more in this warm season, and hopefully you also like this little slightly shorter, a bit more dynamic format where you hear all about the things that I finish, the things that are on my needles, and the things that will be on my needles. And yeah, I tried at some point recording a little more vlog style content, but there's no way I can squeeze this during the week. During the week it's a bit chaotic for me, although I try to have slow breakfasts in the morning. It doesn't always happen that everything is slow after that, so I think I recorded a little clip of a me-made outfit, probably the 1st of May, and that was as much as I did. I did participate in Me-Made May. as I told you in the last episode, I'm wearing something handmade every day, which is lovely. So I really hope you enjoyed this little podcast, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much if you're a returning viewer, and if you're new here, I hope you enjoyed this little space and will be coming back for more. So I hope you're having a lovely weather where you are, that you join me for a little bit of knitting or coffee or tea sipping, and talk to you soon. Okay, bye.